I want to make this video after the P.Diddy trial to bring awareness to what's really going on. Because it's amazing how people are giving praises to Diddy as if he is some type of God or if he's Jesus himself. When in fact, he's more like Barabbas. And in the previous video, I explained who Barabbas was. Barabbas. And I might be pronouncing his name a little wrong. Because y'all know me with pronunciations. I'm real upfront about that. But people are praising him because he beat a RICO charge. Well, let's be honest about something. The prosecution may have lost as far as the RICO. And only because, not that they didn't show the evidence was there. It was because of people lack of understanding. It was because of people, 12 people to be exact. And this is no shade to the 12 people, because RICO all in itself is a complicated charge. It was because of the ignorance of 12 people that they couldn't connect all the dots. They didn't fully understand what was going on. And that was their ignorance. And let's be clear what ignorance is. We all can be ignorant at some point in time, including myself. Because ignorance is only means your lack of knowledge, your lack of understanding. That's all ignorance means. My people perish for the lack of knowledge. And it was that lack of knowledge that did not allow them to see it as RICO when it really was. Everybody keeps saying how, oh, he's an innocent man, free Diddy. He did nothing. He did nothing wrong. He didn't commit no RICO. He did. They might have couldn't prove it the way they did it. And I got my speculations as to why they allowed it to go down this way. And we'll all see it in the very near future why. Because it all was a strategy. They knew how hard it was to prove RICO. They knew what was going to go through the minds of everybody when they presented this case, but they needed a case to stick to get him. And they got him. Because let's not make any mistakes. Although RICO wasn't shown through the eyes, or seen, should I say, through the eyes of the 12 jurors, the crimes that were committed are very real. Actually did happen. He is guilty of all the crimes. What he's not guilty of is proving the organization of the crimes, the organized crimes within his entity. And that's because how can one man be charged with RICO? Well, that's because of everyone's ignorance. One man wasn't just charged with RICO. There was one man on the stand, but there were several co-conspirators of RICO. But let's get off of RICO, because that's a move issue. The issue now is, I go on several videos and watch several videos, read a lot of comments, and so many people are praising this man because he's innocent and he needs to be freed. Well, facing, and I say facing 20 years does not equate to a free man. That equates to a guilty man facing 20 years. And because of people's lack of understanding, because of people ignorance, to them, this what seems like a win, and it seems that way. The word seems is the underlining key, because technically it's a win for him. But he won nothing. He committed all those crimes that that was said and talked about in this trial. So much so, his own attorney said, he's a violent man. My client has issues. And if it wasn't DV, he will be guilty as charged. So, even from that fact, and by the way, that was the fact that kept him in jail and denied bail, because your own attorneys confessed and used that as an excuse in the RICO and then tried to deny it in the bail. But because of everybody's lack of knowledge, their ignorance, their willingness to believe a lie before the truth, because a lie is more entertaining than the truth. They want to say this man is innocent and not guilty and not an evil man, when everything was in front of your face. You saw it all. And you're still denying the crime. Now, some of the crimes he committed might have fell outside of the statute of limitations. And so the only way they could get him is through the RICO or to tie him to Jane. Because although I don't feel like Jane was a victim of the RICO, she was definitely a victim of DV. So because of people's lack of understanding, a guilty man, a horrible man, a man that has left so many scars on so many victims, including ones that he has not been accounted for. Rest in peace, Tupac. Rest in peace, Biggie. Rest in peace, Kim Porter. Rest in peace, Heavy D. Rest in peace to all those entertainers who wasn't paid properly, who demise is very suspicious. And one man was the center of them all. Condolences to the woman he shot in the face. And someone else took the fall. This is a not violent man that everybody is screaming he's innocent and to free him. People lack of knowledge, their lack of understanding, their gullibility to want to just praise and worship somebody for the bottom line of money. Is that all a life is worth? $1. Is that all people's pain worth? $1. Oh, Cassie can go dry her tears with the $30 million that she got. I have no sympathy for her. Well, then when you get in an accident, sir or ma'am, and you sustain severe injuries, both physically and emotionally, and that insurance company pay you for your injuries, when you tell your story, nobody should have remorse for you because you got paid. So shut up. Since you're trying to simplify her injuries, let's simplify millions of people injuries out there in lawsuits today and in days past. When you slip and fall in that store and have an injury, when a family member suffer a wrongful death, wrongful DA, the wrongful D, I don't know how much we can say in here. Let's not have sympathy for that either. When your son or your daughter or your grandchild or your mother or your auntie, the same one that's singing his praises, are victims, let's remember there's no victims. Because now why do you want people to have sympathy for you? It's the typical keep your eyes closed and your mouth shut when it ain't you. But when it's others, you're willing to turn a blind eye. But when it's you, you need all the help in the world. That's all this is. And because of the evil world that we live in now, and the evil that is in your heart, you're connecting with the evil that is in his. And then you act like there's no trauma bonding. You're trauma bonded to him. Because whatever is inside of you that you're relating to him with. So why is it so surprising that the victims stayed, came back? Participated to a certain extent, even though they were victims. Ignorance. And everybody that cheered, and everybody that shouts, and everybody that was paid off, whether it was be your $20, whether it was be for your views, whether it was be for whatever your personal gain was, that's how you was paid off. Versus seeing it for what it really is. For the ignorance of saying, oh, he will only get 3 years when he only got 3 or 4 years. When he ain't even been sentenced yet. And he is facing. That's why you'll always hear me say facing up to 20 years. Because each charge of transportation to engage in prostitution, right, and I'm trying to skip over a couple of things, holds up a maximum of 10 years each, equivalent to 20 years. The only time served, if he gets the max, that will be considered is the 10 months he's already served prior to his sentencing. And if we go out until October, it'll be a few more months added, then subtracted from his overall time. And for those that don't understand the law, and don't know that the judge has full discretion to do as he pleases once it's in his hands, and give him the max that the law allows. For this violent man that the public now see as not violent, simply because he wasn't found guilty on RICO. Because of their lack of knowledge, their ignorance, their common sense, beyond a reasonable doubt. And we all know common sense ain't so common in these days and ages. And common sense does not equate to education. Y'all got to stop this. Stop victim shaming the victims. Stop praising the abuser until they personally attack you. So many people on this platform say, who hurt you? Who hurt you? Why are you judging this man? Personally, in this area, nobody has physically hurt me. Because I'm too strong-willed to allow that foolishness. In fact, the one they almost thought they wanted to is the reason why I have an arrest record to this day. And he learned a very valuable lesson that day. And from that incident, will never do it to another person, and have never heard of them ever trying to do it to another person. So lesson learned on his part. And I did say his part, because I'm not the one to be fooled with. But everybody's not like me. Everybody does not have that strong mind and strong will. And sometimes even that can be a blessing and a curse. And I know that. Because it can be off-putting to some. But if a person ain't built like that, sometimes it's hard to walk away. Y'all, be y'all brothers and y'all sisters keeper. Keep God first. And tools.